I was basically born into motor racing, unfortunately. First day out of hospital, I was at a racetrack. My parents both drove racing cars.
I've always been interested in cars, and growing up it's always been remote control cars, and for Christmas presents it's always been wanting certain things like that.
I'd always been more of a science kind of person than sort of arty or anything like that. And I knew I wanted to go into some sort of engineering field. Even when I was sort of 13 years old, that was where I wanted to end up.
But yeah, it's a great job. It's not your normal 9 to 5.
The way you start the relationship with a car is like how you meet a person for the first time. So within the first 5 minutes, you've probably decided whether you like this person or not. And then as time progresses, you have to, or you naturally learn what makes that person tick, what makes them angry, what makes them excited. Are you going to get on at all? You know, and you have to form this relationship almost with the car. You need to know, as an engineer, what it wants in terms of a setup.
For the general guy at home, it's pretty hard to comprehend what these cars would be like. They're very, very advanced. In terms of engine technology that's behind it, it's not anything seen on road car front. It's definitely pushing the boundaries. It works its way into the road cars eventually, but this is setting the standard.
I've sat in the R18 with a helmet on, and I don't know how the drivers do it. It's quite claustrophobic inside. They are purely designed as race cars. They are. It isn't something I think you would take on the road. It's probably not the most comfortable thing to drive, just generally around town.
It's a 100% thoroughbred race car. It's designed to last basically for that 24-hour period. It won't necessarily last 30 hours. If it lasts 30 hours, then it's too safe.
It's difficult to relate to how powerful and how technical they really are until you see it on track.
If Darth Vader had a car, then this would certainly be his.
Without a doubt, it's probably one of the most amazing races in the world. It's been going since 1923.
The dynamic of Le Mans has changed considerably, and it is now an out-and-out sprint race for 24 hours from start to finish.
It's not just a test of the machine, it's a test of the people who are running the car, driving the car.
As a race engineer for the car, you're basically the point of contact for everyone on the car. So you speak directly with the drivers, you get their feedback. You speak directly with the engine engineers. We've got a lot of specialist engineers behind the scenes, which a lot of people won't see. The chassis guys, the tyre engineers, aerodynamicists.
We don't just do it all by ourselves. We have a background group of engineers that will help us in areas, and that does help. But coordinating all that information is, I guess, the hard bit, the bit that we juggle around.
And you're constantly being dragged from one place to the next. You never really get 5 minutes to yourself. You're constantly trying to feed people information or decipher information from one person to making it relevant to the car.
I perceive racing as like going to war. You know, we have our opponents, we have our enemies, and it is a fight. And as a race engineer, you're kind of like the officer in charge of your battalion, and they are all looking to you for direction. They will do whatever you say.
Let's not forget the race starts at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, but we have a warm-up at 9 in the morning. So we arrive at the track at 7 in the morning. So we start, effectively, have done a full day's work before the race starts. Then we've got a 24-hour race to do.
The hardest part, I guess, from a physical point of view for the engineers and mechanics is just as it's turning to daylight, that particular point in time, you know full well that you should actually have been asleep for about 7 hours. And you're handling not just your own tiredness, but making sure that the guys around you are also awake.
When you think about the decisions that we have to make, it's actually quite daunting. I mean, if you consider that the budget for Audi Sport is millions and millions of euros.
I'm sure there'll be a time in the race this year where I will be thinking, I wonder if that was the right decision, and I wonder if I made the right decision because I was tired.
But it's those last minute decisions that you take almost off the cusp that they can mean a difference between winning or losing.
Last year was probably the pinnacle of, I think, my time at Audi, and I've been with them since 2007. Watching our 3 cars crossing the finishing line in 1, 2, 3 was absolutely amazing. I think probably the only thing that would top it this year is if my car won.
we're effectively racing our competitors, and for us, we work for Audi, and I don't see any point in being selfish about your car. Yeah, sure, you want your car to do as well as possible, but we can get some very good information from the other two cars as well, or for me, the other two cars. And we need to make sure we work well as a team to make sure as much information is being passed between cars all the time.
You just want your car to win, that's inbuilt into you. But being part of Audi, it's a little bit different. We are about a team, and it's not just one car that matters, it's all three. So we share information, there's nothing that's hidden, there's no games that are played. The drivers all get on with each other, they will talk to each other. Certainly for the less experienced ones, they will be able to go to the older drivers and ask for little bits of advice. Nothing's ever sort of hidden away. We are one team, and that's how we work.
We've all got the same sort of mindset in terms of racing, and everything's a race to us. We're always competing as such, but yeah, in a healthy way.
For example, in the airport, when you get off the plane, if there's the option to take the escalator, it's quicker to walk up the steps, you walk up the steps. You don't think about it, you just do it. And it's all about efficiency, really.
I think you have to be dedicated, committed 110%, and extremely focused, almost biased towards selfishness. And I think you need to just be a good leader. I think you need to know how to extract the best out of people. It's about bringing everything together.